The ventricles are filled with cerebrospinal fluid. We'll see more of them as we go along. To understand the external features of the brain, we'll start with the central stalk, which is known as the brainstem. To look at it, we'll take the rest of the brain out of the picture. Here's the brainstem. It consists of the medulla, the pons, and the midbrain. The brainstem contains tracts that connect the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the spinal cord. And it contains nuclei that serve basic autonomic functions. It's also the origin of nearly all the cranial nerves. The medulla is cone-shaped. It tapers down to become continuous with the spinal cord. The medulla becomes continuous with the spinal cord here at the foramen magnum. The medulla, the pons, and the midbrain are located just behind the basilar part of the occipital bone and the dorsum celli. The dorsal aspect of the medulla faces almost directly backwards. Delicate tissue, the inferior medullary velum, forms this part of the roof. This cut surface is the attachment of the cerebellum. It's described as consisting of the superior, middle, and inferior cerebellar peduncles, which are somewhat fused together. The ventral aspect of the medulla is marked on each side by these bulges, the pyramid and the olive. Emerging from here's the abducent nerve. The part of the brainstem above the pons is the midbrain. Features of its dorsal surface are the upper part of the roof of the fourth ventricle, the superior cerebellar peduncles, these bulges, the inferior and superior colliculi, and, in the midline, the pineal body. The fourth cranial nerve, the trochlea, emerges from the dorsum of the midbrain. The midbrain spreads out into these two massive columns, the cerebral peduncles, which connect the brainstem to the cerebrum. Here are the cerebral peduncles in the intact brain. They're largely hidden by the lower parts of the cerebral hemispheres, the temporal lobes. To see the cerebral peduncles better, we'll look at a brain in which the temporal lobe and the cerebellum have been removed. Here are the cerebral peduncles again. Here on the outside of the cerebral peduncle are the medial geniculate body and the lateral geniculate body.